Hello, scale modelers. Alright, and this week we have issue 64 of the Build Your Own Star Wars X-Wing. And this is the last issue for month 15, I believe it is. Or 16, or month 16. Which means that, as far as the R2 goes, I am now 3 months behind on the R2. I can't wait until I start getting those parts back in to do more work on that. And so far, I will also be a whole month behind on the DeLorean parts. So hopefully that'll start up again soon. Once the places that ship these out actually get more parts in. Alright, and cockpit fittings and lighting. Starfighter Aces Mark Matten. And there's also the article in here for the TIE Fighters. And yes, this month the Starfighter Aces is actually who they said it would be. Alright, this looks like it could possibly end up being a longish kind of issue. So the first portion has 19 steps, which is more detailed work on the cockpit. And then 12 steps for adding the lighting. And it looks like we're actually this portion of the cockpit is actually going to get screwed into place on the main cockpit portion there. In which I still wish that I could get the sucker. Oh, there we go. I got it out. Okay. All right. That's cool. Alright, so I'll set that aside until it's needed. So, there we go. Alright. So, cockpit fittings and lighting. This issue's components allow you to finish off the front cockpit console and add the instrument lighting effects. You also have the pilot seat, which will be fitted onto the cockpit floor at a later stage in the assembly. Okay, well, at least we got that. Alright, so I take everything out, and of course, when I take the seat out, first thing I will do with that is put it in the box of tricks. A lot of little detail-y stuff right there. And then rubberish seat. Can't tell if it's all raw. That piece is plastic. So the whole seat might actually be a hard rubber. I mean, it does flex. So, alright, so that's going in the box of tricks. Okay, nothing left in the baggie. Alright, I guess we should get this started. Alright. So, adding the details. Complete the front cockpit console by adding the 12 small instrument panels and control details supplied this time. Each of them is identified by a letter in the picture on page 10. Right here. Right there. And in the steps that follow. Okay, so I guess we just go ahead and open up this clamshell, and hopefully it's easier to open up than the last one. Which it is. And right away, static cling. So let's put that back down. Alright, so step 1. Take the front console assembly from stage 63 plus all of the details supplied this time. Alright, in which, since then, I have glued all this down, except for the obvious ones. Those two have gotten glued down, and this has gotten glued down. I have not glued this in because that was actually kind of a tight fit for that. But, yeah. Okay, so step 2. Fit the round pin A into the hole outlined in yellow using tweezers to hold it and press it all the way in. Okay, so A, which is the smallest, which should be that little teeny tiny one right there. Alright. Let's see if I can grab onto it. It actually stuck to it. So, static in the container. Alright, and that is going right there into that hole. And I guess it doesn't really matter which way it goes in. Okay, let me see here. Apparently it's a little black button kind of a dealio. Oh. Let's see if I can even get this to work. Okay. Alright, there we go. So that little detail's in there now. Alright. Step 3. Fit the tubular fitting B into the rectangle slot next to the previous detail, noting which way around it goes. Okay, which it's this detail, and they have it going in just like this. Step 4 is press the detail all the way in so it looks like this. Okay, so here we go. And that's as far in as it goes. Just like that. Well, seems to be in there snug. Okay. Step 5. Fit the long detail C into the matching slot, fitting the locating pin into the hole. Okay, so C, which will be this one right here, just has a couple, well actually one tiny detail look into it, and that goes in this spot right here, like that. Okay, and step 6 is press the detail all the way in so it looks like this. Okay, which I already pushed it in. Alright, step 7. Fit the triangular detail D into the matching recess, fitting the locating pin into the hole. Alright, and then we're going to skip ahead, press the detail all the way in so it looks like this. Okay, so D is a triangular piece, which it doesn't, is it a small triangular piece? Because there's two triangular pieces. Okay, so it's not that one. Okay. Alright, so that means that D is this one right here. Okay, and that goes in this spot. Right here. As soon as I already skipped ahead to step 8, just so that way I could do the I could push it in and say it should look like this now. Alright, step 9. Fit the shaped detail E into the matching recess, fitting its locating tab into the slot. And 10. Press the panel all the way in so it looks like this. Alright, so E is an oddly shaped one, which there are two oddly shaped ones. One's the opposite of the other. Alright, I guess I'll have to go by okay, so this one is E right there. I don't know if you can see that, but that one's E. Okay, and that one goes in this spot here. And that should look like that now. Okay. Alright, step 11. Fit this shaped detail F into the matching recess, fitting its locating tab into the slot. Okay, so that is one detail right there. Okay, so F is gonna follow the shape, and this looks like it. So that is part F. Right there. So now that looks like that. Alright, and here we go. Step 12. Press the detail all the way in so it looks like this, then take the rectangular detail G, which has a D-shaped lug on the back, corresponding to the hole below F indicated by an arrow. G. It's a rectangular piece. Okay, so that's that one right there. You notice it's just a plain piece of plastic. Okay, and there is a little D shape right in there, which, if we can get this to go in right, I'm thinking that's gonna have to be glued. This might have to get glued in because it's loose. That is loose. Huh. Okay. I am going to glue that in. The lug will only fit in the hole when the part is at the correct angle. Okay, well, I can tell it's supposed to go in at an angle. But it's still loose. So, yep, luckily I actually brought my glue up this time around, and I am going to glue that sucker into place. So the last thing I want is for that little thing to come out. So, I'm going to put a little bit around the outside of the detail right there. And then just get it back in like that. And then it should dry pretty quickly. And if you notice, it is not moving around anymore. So we're all good. Alright, step 14 was the starboard side of the console should now look like this. Note that G is at a slight angle as shown. So, right there, see? Slight angle with the help of super glue. Alright, step 15. Fit this shape detail H into the matching recess, pressing its locating tab all the way into the slot. Alright, so it's going to be this one, basically like a mirror from the other side. I say basically. There is a slight difference. Because you notice this one has a little red spot at the top. That is silver, and then it's red, silver, red, and then this one's red, silver, silver. So, slight differences to them. Okay, and step 16, press this shape detail I into the matching recess, pressing its locating tab all the way into the slot. Okay, which it's going to be this one right here. And, oh, big difference between those two. Alright, there we go for that. Okay, step 17. The port side of the console should now look like this. Okay, yeah, see? Should now look like that. Okay. Okay, step 18. Press the triangular detail J into this recess, fitting its locating pin into the hole. Which, this is the one that we thought we were supposed to do on that side, but it wasn't. This one goes right down here, like that. Okay. Okay. Step 19, press the final detail K into the hole in the top corner of the console, knowing which way around it goes. Okay, that's got to be for the LED right there, that piece right there. Okay. And, okay, it can only go in one way because that's a D shape. And you can tell that that goes that direction, so it should go in like this. So there we go. And that completes the assembly of the front console right here. Looks pretty cool if you ask me. Of course, you know, gonna be very, very hard to do any extra lighting effects in there. Because, like I said, you're gonna have to go through 2 layers of, you know, this dark plastic. Alright, so adding the lights. The instrument panels are illuminated by 3 LEDs, which are pre-wired together with a plug on one end. Follow the instructions carefully to identify which LED fits where. Okay, so take the completed front console plus that, plus the instrument lighting LEDs and LED mount provided this time, and the cockpit shell assembly from stage 6. Okay, so step 2. Straighten the wires connecting the LEDs and take the middle one of the 3. Fit the clear portion of the LED into the LED mount with the wider flange going on first. Okay, so if you notice, that is the middle light. So you got 1, 2, and 3. That's the middle light right there. Okay, and feed the LED from step 2 up through the triangular hole in the cockpit shell, like this. Okay, and then it says pull extra through. Step 5, plug the LED mount securely into this hole on the underside of the front console. So this hole right here. Okay. Step 6, fit the front console into the cockpit shell gently, pulling this surplus wire back down through the rectangular hole. Oop. Hold on. I didn't say anything about bending that back. So it's going to have to be bent backwards. Actually, it's going to also need to be put at an angle too, which they didn't say that either. So you have to bend it back, and you have to put it in at a slight angle, so that way it goes around this foot paddle right here. So, which, I mean, it doesn't even clear it. Okay, so find out. Kind of, okay, like that. Right there. Okay, 7 was press the console into the front cockpit shell forward of the left and right instrument panel. Okay, turn the assembly over and take the LED attached to the end of the wiring, plug it into this hole in the starboard side of the cockpit shell. Okay, so that's the end wiring into this hole. Of the cockpit wiring, so it goes up and through like that, and then we just okay, I don't want to damage that, so okay, that seems to be in all the way now. Okay. Alright, and then take the remaining LED, which is the one closest to the plug on the end of the wiring, plug it into this hole on the port side of the cockpit shell underneath the left instrument panel. Okay, so right here. Let's hope this one's a bit easier to make sure it goes down all the way. Okay. That one went in better than the other one did. Okay. Route the wire neatly around the two edges of the cockpit shell like this, just as I'd done, and temporarily plug the instrument lights into the battery test box. And then it says that all 3 LEDs should come on illuminating parts of the instrument panel like this. Okay, so make sure it goes in around the right way. Okay, and obviously we're gonna have some bleed from under here, but as you can see, it does light that up, and because there's like that black behind it, it does make it look like there's something on the screens there. And I know it looks like these spots are actually lit up, but that light is just a bit bright. Those LEDs are a bit bright, so I know it looks like that all these other spots are plugged in or lighting up, but they're not really lighting up all that as much as it's showing right there. It's pretty much just this spot right here where the brightest light is coming out that's actually lit. So somebody could actually fix that little bit of lighting. Yeah, so that's that. And need a diffuser or something to, you know, make those spots light up better than what they're lighting up. Okay, so nothing about screwing this into place yet. So I'm wondering if that's going to come in step 60 or issue 65. Because that's all we do this time around for issue 64. Okay, so okay, so in 65 you got the Lego TIE Fighters, Build Your Own Fleet, Hera Syndulla. Wait a minute, where do I remember that from? Oh hey, would you look at that? This is issue 62, Hera Syndulla. Which this one says Rebel Pilot of the Ghost, and that one says Rebel Pilot. So obviously somebody jumped the gun, and hopefully we'll actually have the Hera Syndulla Rebel Pilot as the Starfighter Aces in issue 65, whenever we get issue 65. Okay, so a rear bulkhead plus bulkhead details. So that's what we're supposed to have in issue 65, which hopefully I will have here pretty soon. So as always, thanks for watching Brian's Builds.